Hello everyone, my name is Jacqueline and today I'm going to be giving a brief overview of poverty in the United States and how the TANF policy affects families experiencing economic hardship. Poverty in the US is widespread and is often a system failure rather than an individual one. In the late 1990s, more than 5.2 million families with children lived below the federal poverty line. And what's important is that most of these families had at least one working parent, which means that that was not the issue. Many were working full-time year-round, yet still couldn't afford basic needs like food, housing, childcare, and healthcare. And unfortunately, that reality continues today. The recent data shows that that poverty remains high across many counties, and the pandemic pushed that even more for families into financial instability. Children are especially affected. Nearly 1 in 2 grow up in a low income or poor family. Childhood poverty is mostly linked to poor health, lower educational outcomes, and long term barriers to stability. Two major factors that drive this issue: first, many people work in low wage jobs or live in areas with limited employment opportunities. Second, the cost of living, especially when it comes to housing, food, childcare, and healthcare, it has gotten so high much faster than the actual wages are increasing. And because of this, even full time workers often struggle to stay afloat and afford basic needs and necessities for their families. There's also a growing movement to update the federal poverty line because the current formula is outdated. If it were updated, millions more families would be officially recognized as living in poverty, which could expand access to support programs. The Personal Responsibility and Work Opportunity Reconciliation Act of 1996, which created TANF, that is also known as Temporary Assistance for Needy Families. TANF provides temporary cash assistance and work-related services, but it also includes strict work requirements and a 5-year lifetime limit. The average family receives about $396 a month, which is far below what a family needs to meet basic expenses. One important thing to understand is that TANF varies widely across the states. States decide who qualify, how much money the family receives, and how strict the work rules are. This means that a family's access to support depends heavily on where they live, creating major barriers. While TANF reduced the number of people receiving cash assistance, it did not significantly reduce poverty. Many families who need help the most, especially those facing disability, unstable housing, or lack of childcare, often don't receive the adequate support that they need. I believe it's important for social workers to care deeply about this issue because poverty directly affects the well-being and opportunities of the people who us as social workers serve. We see how low wages, high cost of living, and the strict program rules keep families trapped in cycles of hardship. Some key improvements include updating the federal poverty line, raising wages to match the cost of living, and strengthening TANF benefits and reducing state to state inequities. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts.